Even when David isn't on air, he still cuts me off right before. I do not know who's producing the back end of this show, but just remember, I sign at least one check per year. So you're missing yours. Whoever just did that. My name's Akil Patterson. This is Joe Cortez. Welcome to the Late Night News. Let's get to it. Joe, start us off with the top five today.
10:05 on the East Coast, 7:05 Pacific. Here are the five stories you need to know tonight as we get into the weekend. First, a former Coinbase product manager and two others are facing charges of insider trading based on when new coins would be listed on the centralized exchange. The U.S. Department of Justice announced charges of wire fraud and conspiracy against Ishan Wahi, Nikhil Wahi, and Samir Rahmani yesterday. Federal attorneys allege that in at least 14 situations, Ishan Wahi knew when new currency listings would go live on Coinbase and when those announcements would be made, and tipped his brothers Nikhil and Rahmani with the confidential information. The three are then accused of making trades ahead of the listings and selling for a profit once the currencies launched on the exchange. The complaint was filed by the Securities and Exchange Commission on Thursday. The Wahi brothers remain in custody and are awaiting their first hearing, while Rahmani remains at large. In a Twitter thread, Coinbase's chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, said Coinbase doesn't list securities, period, and they, quote, 100% disagree with the SEC's assertion that any of the crypto assets they list are securities. Akil, this is kind of a weird gray area.
I think that there is no gray area. There is no gray area. It may not be insider trading, but it definitely was taking an advantage of the situation. They are making money while the rest of us are having to guess. We became their exit liquidity. To the Wahis, Wahi, and you Wahos. No, that's what they are. They're the Wahos, not Wahi. Wahos, you owe us some money. You're walking around with people's exit liquidity. I hope you get 10 years per charge. That's 140 years for you to meet Bobo in the big house. Have a great day and a terrible, terrible rest of your life, Wahis. I really am just pissed off, Joe.
Understandable. And according to the allegations filed by the Department of Justice, they were able to cash out on millions of dollars based on those trades and being able to exchange those tips in secured chat channels. So really, I think this will set a precedent for future accusations and future trials in the Web3 space, especially as it comes to being able to make those allegations and figure out how to charge them appropriately and get recompense for victims involved.
Yeah, I'm just, the money's gone. They said one's still at large, correct?
That is correct. That would be Samir Rahmani.
So Rahmani's at large. So if there becomes some shit coin in the next couple of weeks that they want you all to buy and some guy named Razani decides to sell it, don't. That's not financial advice, though.
EYOR, do your own research. That is the name of the game. But speaking of politics and politicians, California politicians can now solicit donations in cryptocurrency thanks to a change by the state's Fair Political Practices Commission. The board voted unanimously to allow candidates in the state to accept donations in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies based on current state rules. In a brief to the commission, staff recommended approving the proposal based on research on the traceability of cryptocurrency and how other election authorities have approached the topic. To accept legal crypto donations, politicians must be donors, I should say, must be processed and donations must be processed and facilitated by a third-party, U.S.-based FinCEN registered payment processor who will be tasked to verify the donor's identity and required information and immediately convert those donations into U.S. dollars. The move comes as State Governor Gavin Newsom begins running ads in Florida and Texas, decrying moves by politicians in those states and suggesting California provides a better political model. So with this decision, is this political posturing or is this a smart move for the state of California?
It's stupid because it's already federal policy. The federal law already allows you to accept cryptocurrency. The thing that they're just changing here in totality is basically they're just allowing it on the state and local level. So the federal government already allows you to take cryptocurrency, allows you to immediately exchange it. Now, you do have to KYC when you do it. So the candidate cannot actually accept Bitcoin. What they do is their campaign gets Bitcoin sent to them through, let's say, a company like BitPay. You set up a thing with BitPay, And then BitPay immediately transfers that funds over to you for the cash value at that moment. So this is all just kind of like doing the exact same thing that the federal level has already allowed at the state and local levels. So, yeah, it's nice and it's a feel good moment for Gavin and his buddies. But at the end of the day, there's nothing there. That this is already kind of something that's happening on the federal level. I mean, we've had, I think, on between the shows that we've done, the podcast, we've probably had a good 20 political candidates that accept Bitcoin on a G Media, either AMA or podcast. So, yeah, it sounds great, but folks, we're not reinventing the wheel here. You're just doing the same thing. Now, what would be dope is when we finally get to use Bitcoin as real legal tender here in the United States of America. That's what I'm keeping my eye out for.
Well, in theory, for private transactions, anyone can use Bitcoin as a currency. There's nothing stopping it per se. It's just not recognized as a legal tender for paying things like taxes, paying things like other obligations to the government and others. But right now, there's nothing preventing, say, you and me from transacting in Bitcoin.
Absolutely
I think a lot
nothing.
of this.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I was going to say is I think there's a lot of this is just political posturing for the state of California and ultimately posturing for the rest of the nation, trying to show off that California knows better. It generally hasn't worked very well in the past. If you look at previous California attempts to regulate the United States, such as with California emissions checks, gun regulations, etc., California does not have a strong track record of being the leader in regulations. But we'll see. This could change things at a state level and for state candidates and not necessarily federal candidates.
Well, the only thing that I'll push back on is California under Ronald Reagan did actually change gun laws. And actually, they were more restrictive under Ronald Reagan. So just for FYI, people pick up a book because California did lead the way. It just became more restrictive under Ronald Reagan. But that's just a little known history fact that only the great Akil, Black Excellence, would be able to know. But anyway, on to our next subject matter.
Black Excellent dropping some hard truths tonight. Speaking of hard truths, customers of bankrupt centralized exchange Voyager may now get a bailout thanks to federal exchange FTX. The two companies announced a joint proposal to allow users who have assets stuck in Voyager to move them to a new FTX account using part of an early distribution of bankruptcy claims. With this limited cash, users could either purchase cryptocurrency and other assets within the FTX exchange or immediately withdraw the cash into a bank account. In a press release, FTX chief executive Sam Bankman-Fried said this plan would, quote, help establish a better way to resolve an insolvent crypto business and, quote, allow customers to obtain early liquidity and reclaim a portion of their assets without forcing them to speculate on bankruptcy outcomes, end quote. So once again, Akil, Sam Bankman-Fried is coming to the rescue of the cryptocurrency world as the digital JP Morgan.
Yeah, he is Jean-Pierre Morgan right now. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. He is spending more money. I'm not going to say than who. He is spending more money saving these folks. And I don't know if he's saving them or if he's buying friends. I've said it before. Sam is ahead of the game. Number one, he was the second largest donor to President Biden. Number two, he is still alive. And I don't know anyone other than Tom Brady that actually is using FTX to trade on. I mean, are you using it? Because I don't know. I don't know one solitary person that uses FTX. But if this is the route he's going to get people onboarded on FTX, he is now going to take every Voyager customer. He's going to make them feel great. And hopefully he does the right thing by them, because those folks do not deserve, and I mean this unequivocally, they do not deserve to have their money stolen by these dirty, underhanded venture capitalists that have just been ripping people off over the last 7 to 8 months, actually 2 years, or the last 2 years, that have been just going in and using their Bitcoin for their own personal gains. One more time, folks, not your keys, not your crypto. Get a cold storage wallet, get it safely secured. Don't let these guys lend out your money for free.
Don't die for free this summer is literally what it boils down to. Don't die. this summer, but especially not for free. What fascinates me about this is I feel like history is once again repeating itself. We're seeing the same things we've seen in other recessionary times in the past when the airlines deregulated. We saw a period of, and especially post 9/11, we saw a period of recession and then consolidation. Moving 7 different airlines now into 3 major national carriers after the 2008 recession. What was a network of small regional banks quickly turned into a group of 3 mega banks: Chase, Wells Fargo,
and Bank of
and
the World. I mean, Bank of
and
America. Did I say
Bank
Bank
of
of the
America.
World?
Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me that this is happening. I'm just very curious to see if that's his play. Is he see a consolidation move right now, and is FTX going to become one of the small group of select centralized exchanges that survive crypto winter?
Yes. There's nothing more to say. FTX survives, somebody else will fall. End of the discussion with that. But hey, Sam, you can sponsor this show. Just send me a
Your
check.
logo
I'll
right
take
here.
care of it.
I'll wear the umpire shirt. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
I have no idea. Look, whatever Sam wants. Look, I will wear a wig if Sam asks me to right now.
Wow, that's a bold move.
Well, yeah. I mean, I am slightly. You know what? The hair is coming back. If anyone can see, it's slowly. I've been using this castor oil, this stuff that David gave me. Don't ever let David Gokhshtein convince you to regrow your hair. He'll have you putting mayonnaise in it by the end of the night. But it is starting to regrow just a little bit. So I might actually get a real haircut in the next couple months to go along with this super mustache.
Now, I do have one question for you, Akil. If you were to have a metaverse avatar, hair or no hair?
I wouldn't have hair because I'd be wearing a mask. I'm going to be walking around the metaverse as Black Panther.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, the good news is you may be able to bring the Black Panther with you no matter where you go on the metaverse. A new digital consortium is launching to help solve problems of the new digital worlds in the Web3 environment. The Open Metaverse Alliance for Web3 announced their formation on Thursday, consisting of several household names in the place, including Sandbox, Decentraland, Decentral Games, Upland, Dapper Labs, and several others. In their vision statement, the group says they want to work on a framework where users will be able to, quote, own and use their digital assets, identity, and personal data in a frictionless way across multiple platforms, allow users to retain their assets, and that all the platforms can, quote, optimize for individual freedom, social, economic, and other sustainable outcomes. While the group has not yet announced their first initiatives, they are asking people to stay tuned for announcements on their Twitter account and on their website at oma3.org. Interesting move. I think this is needed, especially as we see a very fractured metaverse coming into play.
Oh, yes. You know, Web3, as it sits right now, is still an idea, and ideas can land wrong with some communities and they'll land great with others. I feel like Sandbox, Dapper Labs, they're still growing. Upland, they're having a multiverse of metaverse. The thing is that when these L2s, Lay True, and other protocols are being worked on, are they going to have interoperability? Those are the questions that we're asking. Those are the questions that are being answered. But this consortium coming together spells to me the greater issue of Web3, and that is that can we get Web3 companies, businesses that are operating in a centralized way, because that's what this is. It's not decentralized, it's a centralized way. Can we get these folks that are working in a centralized way to work cooperatively in the future for long-term sustainability? That is a question I do not know, because there is a lot involved. And as we know, when you're dealing with technology may not always be as simple as we think it is.
That's very true. But the nice thing about being able to build on common blockchains, whether it be Ethereum, whether it be BNB, Solana, whatever blockchain they decide to use, by building on those common blockchains, there are certain parts and pieces they have in place that allow them to create that interoperability. And instead of building each a legacy system that then have to be combined, they already have a common framework that allows users to retain their own data, their own assets, while being able to jump from metaverse to metaverse with some of those similar assets, all backed by the same blockchain and by the same proof of ownership.
Yeah, but which blockchain are we going to be on? Is it Ethereum? Is it BNB? Are we going to be looking at are they going to be using one of the other many protocols? That's why I said, can they work together in the long range sustainability? Because on the back end, it takes just as much work to start as it does to maintain it. And that's where that's the question. It's like, can you be friends with me after we've made this deal and everyone's made their money and everyone goes their own separate ways? A new crop comes in and goes, well, wait a second, I'm not getting anything out of this now. And that's where that's when we're going to see who's really about Web3. Who's willing to sustain this when the big bucks go away?
Well, and we're already starting to see a little bit of that now in crypto winter. Obviously, the entire industry has not been tried like this before. We've gone through trials, but not to this extent, not to this level. And I think the consortium is a great first step to figure out how do we solve those bigger problems and ensure that there's enough to go around, not just for the venture capitalists, not just for the millionaires, but that everybody can get their equal space in all these developed metaverses as we move forward.
We'll see.
We will see. Finally tonight, ApeCoin holders will soon get even more utility for their digital assets after the community started working on initiatives based on two improvement proposals for staking. In a letter to the community posted on Twitter, the Ape Foundation announced they have selected Horizon Labs as their partner to build and manage a staking system for ApeCoin. In line with the two improvement proposals passed in May 2022, the team will work with Horizon Labs to get staking systems online in around 12 to 16 weeks, with a proposed launch sometime in the fall. The staking partner announcement follows a preview held earlier this month of their accompanying metaverse play, The Other Side, which is said to include virtual land plots, integrations with current Yuga Labs NFTs, and other tie-ins for ApeCoin. So if you're holding ApeCoin, and I know a lot of our team is, I was a holder, I'm no longer in ApeCoin, but if you're in ApeCoin, now your assets may start paying off in a good way. May, not in financial advice.
Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side.
I should have known that was coming.
Yes, the other side. Hundreds of thousands of hours put into building this thing, and it looks great. The metaverse is perfect. They did the testing last weekend. I think David and Ross were part of that, and it was overloaded with people. ApeCoin is now saying they're going to stake, and guess what? I'm still holding. I'm still here. I'm still standing. You know why? Because I'm going ape. They call it racist. No, when I call ApeCoin racist was when it first came out. Now I own it. I have taken it back from the racists that were out there. They want to talk about Bored Apes are racist. No. We took it back too, just like we did the other things. ApeCoin is going to be sustained. It is going to be a long-range crypto. I am not telling you financial advice. I'm telling my advice. I'm holding on to this thing because it's got a plan. It's got a plan. It is based off of culture. And everybody knows the big three, what the big three is. It's crypto, culture, and competition. Well, guess what? The culture owns ApeCoin. The culture brought the Bored Ape Yacht Club out of obscurity and into the mainframe of this world. You've got athletes. You've got professionals. You've got NFL players. You've got basketball players. You've got designers. Everyone is holding ApeCoin right now. So at the end of the day, I feel like this is my homage to Vince McMahon right here or something. I feel like I'm giving a WWE speech. Vince McMahon, congratulations on your retirement, by the way. This is it. Ape coin is gonna break you. And what you're gonna do when the ape coin goes all ape all over you, brother? Oh, snap into a Slim Jim. Dig it.
Oh, in the spirit of full disclosure, Akil Patterson does hold and currently own ApeCoin. I do not. I was a former holder, and I currently do not. And I'm kind of regretting making that move now, especially as they have added utility. You make some very good points there, Akil, about the community, about the direction, about the roadmap. But for me, at the end of the day, it's always about what is the utility for that coin? What can I do with it? What is being done with it, and where is it going to go for me? Adding staking is a key part of that utility for me. And I think based on that, there is a lot of room to grow. But that being said, there are no guarantees in this world. There are never any guarantees in the Web3 or crypto space, and only time will be the true judge of what happens with.
I will never ever get tired of seeing this video. I remember when it landed, it just had me going like, what the? Wait a second. This is the other.
The day destroys the night. Night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide. Break on to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side, yeah.
Jim Morrison, eat your
We're
heart
chasing
out.
our pleasures here. Young our treasures there. But can you still recall the time we cried? Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side.
I have utility right now. Thank you to our team that are helping produce this back end. It's great. So anything else, Joe, for us today?
Those are the top 5 stories going into the weekend. I did not look up the prices at close, but maybe that's for the better. Maybe we'll all be able to rest a little bit easier this weekend, knowing that we're all going to make it, as they say.
Well, we are all going to make it, but more importantly, we are all going to make it together as a community. That is what the most important thing. So this weekend, do us all a favor. Be yourself. Be yourself. Get outside, enjoy the weekend, hug up on your family and friends, love up on the people that are in your life. And remember, as I always say, have a great day.
Hold on.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Hold on. Absolutely not. First of all, yes, it's me who stole the keys to the station. Yes, I'm running all this shit behind the scenes. Yes, Akil, it's me. And I want to just give a shout out. Joe, amazing. Joe Cortez on the 1 and 2s. And Akil, yo, you guys brought fire tonight, man. I couldn't even keep up. But nice to go ahead and hear new voices. Gokhshtein Media for all your news in crypto and Web3. And you can go ahead and do your corny, little line over there and put on your jacket. I'm out.
I'm not going to put on the jacket today. But as always, folks, remember, have a great day and an even better tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you Monday for more news here on Gokhshtein Media, the people's choice for Web3 news.